What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the Red Type Politics channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Well, guys, it is 100 days until the presidential election between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. I'm feeling pretty excited about it just because we're now under 3 digits and now we're moving on to 2. So I'm going to be sharing my latest predictions just because we have a little more information now since my last video. But yeah, so let's get straight into it. This one I'm expecting to be a little more short than my usual videos, just because there's not much to it and it's more self-explanatory. I will be posting very soon my updated Senate, House, and Governor prediction, for 2024, so that'll be fun. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So I'm going to start with the likely states for Kamala Harris just because it is less than all the states that Trump has. So let's get started. So it's California, Oregon, Washington State, Colorado. We also have Hawaii, Illinois. We also have D.C., Maryland, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Vermont, and that should be it. Also Maine's first, and yeah, that should be all of the states that is there. So let's also do the safe states for Donald Trump. I know I'm not using my other shades that I usually use for my predictions just because I'm getting ready to do some updates on my YapMS mapping thing, so you'll see that shortly. But yeah, so these are basically all the states. Jen sent you a lot of states. I'm not gonna name all of them. But yeah, basically around the same ones, just because it's not really updating much of them. But really, Texas is going to be one of those Florida is going to be one of those closer ones. But yeah, this one I could really see going safe still. I will put it as safe, but it's going to be like 13 exactly. Just because I do use 13. But yeah, let's go on to the likely states. I'll do also lean states for Kamala as well. So the lean states and likely are New Mexico. This one is updated because this one used to be lean. Same thing for Minnesota. This one I had going for Trump. It's just we have more information and a lot of these polls and a lot of these trends. It could be closer than 2020 for Biden, but just by me looking at the trends, I don't think it's gonna happen as of now. Likely states, we have Delaware, New Jersey, New York. Just because I don't see Kamala doing really well. Same thing as Biden, as they would have done in the same matchup. But yeah. And Virginia, New Hampshire, and that should be all the states. Now let me do the likely and lean states for Trump, which is Texas, North Carolina, Georgia. This one used to be likely. I just think Kamala will do a little bit better. Not much, but just a little bit better with these voters in the South. But yeah. And also Nevada. And sorry for Kamala as well. Maine at large is going to be lean as well. Same thing for Nebraska second. So right now the map is at 257 Trump, 226 Kamala Harris. And yeah, so let's move on to the closest states, which is Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona. These are more interesting just because you see these data that coming out, and you would say, oh, Kamala might win all these. I would disagree with you just a little bit. I think she has a little bit more of a chance in Michigan, but not much that she's gonna do as much Biden did if I'll win it. But yeah, let's move on. Well, I'll start going from Michigan. I'll go east, and I'll do Arizona, and I'll explain Arizona out just because that one does take a little bit. So for Wisconsin, I do think Trump still narrowly wins the state around the same margin as 2016, and here's why. You have a lot of these white suburban voters that voted for Biden in 2020 just because they didn't like how Trump handled a few issues, especially how Trump did with the markets, and maybe didn't agree with their alignment. And they probably look at now and they're like, oh my god, Trump had a way better platform. And you're seeing these shifts come out of these areas, especially Door County, near Kenosha, and all of these areas, and they're going to shift heavily to the right. I think where Trump lacks is the cities, and only the cities. Around the cities, like the suburban areas, I think where Kamala lacks, and that's where she needs to do well. And I just don't see her doing that well in these areas. So that's why I have Wisconsin still going for Trump. Michigan. This one is interesting. This one has the Arab voters, and this one has a large population of the Arab voters. And I don't see Kamala doing well with Arab voters whatsoever, just because how she handles the Palestine issue and the Hamas issue. I will still give the state to Trump. So this is what puts Trump over the top. Trump still wins the state, not by as much as I predicted in my last video. The reason why is because you see a lot of these cities, and that's where the heavy population is, especially in the cities. The suburban areas, it's not like Wisconsin or Pennsylvania, but Michigan is based on suburban areas and mostly cities. So in the cities is where all the population is, and in the suburban areas is where most of these are. It's more like an urban area, really. I do think Trump could get it to lean. But right now, just because I don't have a lot of information on Michigan, I will put it as tilt. Same thing for Pennsylvania. That one is going to be tilt. That one is going to be like around 0.6, 0.7. A little less than my last video, just because it depends on who she picks as VP. If you have a Roy Cooper, I would be able to put Michigan as the lean. But it depends. If she picks a Shapiro, I still think that she loses his state, and here's why. You have a lot of these voters that didn't have Trump on the ballot during Shapiro's election, and they're not gonna do the same thing as they did when they were electing him. They're not gonna have overwhelming support for him in these urban areas. No, Trump's gonna run it up in these urban areas, and especially in these suburban areas where Trump's gonna do well and Kamala lacks. It's not going to help her. They're voting for her, not the VP. So I think maybe it will help her like 0.25 better. Not enough to flip the state. And that's where I think my predictions come into play. You look at the trends, it's not enough. It is not enough for her to flip the state. I just continue to say that. And I will stand by that. The last state, Arizona. This one is probably one of the more tough ones. They're heavy on the abortion issue. They're heavy on the Trump cases. When he got indicted, all that. This one, I just this one's gonna probably be my one. Is probably gonna be more controversial. I have it as tilt D, and this one, really, it could go to Trump, but with the heavy shift in Maricopa, I just don't see it. Right now, I don't see it. I know I've been going back and forth on Arizona, but for right now, I don't see it happening. And you're probably thinking, this looks awfully familiar to one of my last predictions for the Trump and Biden before I had Trump winning Arizona by a considerable margin. This one, I don't see I don't see Trump winning Arizona, even if by a lot. If he does, it's going to be like 0.1. It's not going to be enough. With these shifts, especially in Arizona, with the border and everything, I don't see it. So this is why I will be giving Kamala Arizona as of now. So this is the updated map. 301 electoral votes to Kamala having 237. You still have Trump doing awfully well in the Rust Belt, of course with the J.D. Vance support, but not by a lot. And you can see Kamala picking up Arizona back from Biden. But yeah, this one is a very interesting video. Again, I will be posting my Senate, House, and Governor prediction that is updated very soon, probably by my next video. I'm also working on the alternative history videos. I'm working on that. I'm planning them right now. They should come out soon. I don't know when exactly, but yeah, they will come out soon. Let me know if you guys want to see more of these updated predictions, or you guys want to see just an all-in-one, just all levels that are coming out in 2024. Let me know if you guys want to see that. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.